Let's create this beautiful but simple cryptocurrency table using React.js and Tailwind CSS for styling. In this video, we're going to also practice how to fetch the API using Axios package. So this is going to be a good practice for you to learn how to fetch API in React.js. If you find my video useful, please hit the subscribe button and follow my content. All right, I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get it done. All right, first things first, let's create our React app using npm create with @latest dot. Very good. Now let's choose React and we use plain JavaScript. Use roll down with no and install with npm and start no. So here we have our React app. Now let's let me clear this using CLS. Let's install our node modules folder, npm install. It's going to take a while. Very good. Now we're going to start, let me clear it again, CLS. Let's start our app using npm run dev. So now our app is running on port 5173. I'm going to copy the link and let's run the app on the browser. So the app is working fine. Now we're going to need to install a few packages. The first package we need to install is actually Axios. So let's install it. npm install Axios. So we're going to use it to fetch the data, fetch the API. And also we need to install Tailwind. So to install Tailwind, we need to go to, well, let's just type in our Google Chrome Tailwind for Vite, and that's it. This is the link that you see. So click on this link, and it actually guides you step by step to install Tailwind. So this is the first thing you need to do. We actually already created our Vite. Now we need to install our Tailwind here. So I'm going to copy this command. Let's go to VS Code and let's paste it, enter. Very good. Now the second part, we need to copy this. This is actually our vite.config.js, which is this file, vite.config.js. Now we need to copy this line, import Tailwind from Tailwind, and let's paste it under this React. And also you need to copy this Tailwind here, and let's put a comma. Let's put a comma after this React and put Tailwind CSS. And the last thing you want to do is to copy this, import Tailwind CSS, and let's go to src. Let's go to our index.css. Let's erase everything and paste it right here. So I think we're good to go. Now let's delete this app.css and delete assets. And let's delete everything inside the app.css. Now using RAFCE, we create our component, React snippets. So here is our app. Now if I, let me test if the Tailwind works. If I give this app a class name of P20, yeah, perfect. So you can see that our Tailwind is working fine. Excellent. Now we are ready to start designing the UI of the project. So first thing we want to do is to give this div, this main div, a class name of, well, let me close all of them again and open app, and let me close this one again. So let's give it a min height of screen and bg gray 900. Very good. Make this smaller. make this bigger. So let's give it a text white and flex items center. Now, inside this div, oh, sorry, I forgot to, we actually need to give it item center, justify center, and also we need to give it a px of 6 and py of 10. Now, that's it. Now, inside this div, let's give it a div with class name, of w full, which has a width of width full, and a max with 5xl. Oh, sorry, I have to type it inside the class name. So max w5xl. Now inside that, let's create an h1, and this h1 is going to be inside that h1, first I'm going to create a span. I put the C inside that span, and then after that I will write cryptocurrencies market. So this C should be inside the span. Now to h1, I will give it a text XL and tracking, which is actually the space between the letters. So we're going to give it 3 pixels, and let's give it an MB of 8 and a margin bottom of 8, and let's make all uppercase, and also let's give it a color of text gray 300. Now the span should have a class name text 5xl, so the C now is bigger. Now under the h1, we're going to create our table. So first let's create a div. That div should have a class name of overflow x auto. That's it. Now let's create a table. This table should have a class name of main w full border white /20 and rounded LG and overflow hidden. So these all are actually Tailwind classes. So if you have Tailwind installed, they're gonna work. So be careful that you actually need to have Tailwind installed. So inside the table, let's go for a t-head tag actually. Now inside that t-head, we're going to give it a class name of bg gradient to right, to R means to write from indigo 500 to pink 500. Now inside the t-head, we're going to create a tr, and inside the tr, we're going to have a th. So we're going to give the th a class name of px4 and py2 and text left. So I'm going to give the first one a hashtag sign. Now I'm going to copy this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 4 times actually, because we need 5 t-heads. So the name, the next one is the name, and the next one is the price. And let's say the next one is so in front of the price you should write you should create a parenthesis and then say USD, because the price is actually based on US dollars. And then let's go for market cap, and the last one is 24-hour change, so the change of the currency within 24 hours. Let's make this one a little bit bigger. So now after this t-head, we go for the t-body. So let me actually create comments here. So this is the table header, and now this is the table body. This way we have a cleaner code, a more readable code. So inside the T body, let's create a TR, and it should have actually a class name of border T border gray 600 BG gray 800 and a hover and a hover of BG white /10. Now, all right, inside the TR, let's have a TD, and let's give it a class name of px4 and py2. And inside the TD, we're going to put the number. So we have number 1, the first one. So let's create another TD, and the TD is going to be actually, well, it's going to be an image. Let me enter. So it's going to be an image. The src of image is going to be https assets.coingecko.com. So you can just type this URL with me. You can write this along. So we have actually the picture of Bitcoin, coingecko.com, and let's say coins, images, 1, let's say the large one, bitcoin.png. Now, if you put that, you can see that PNG is right here. The picture of Bitcoin is right here, but we need to give it a class because it's very, very big and it actually makes our table looks ugly. So let's create a class name here for the image, and let's write a width of 6 and a height of 6. Now it looks better. And the alt should be actually Bitcoin. And the next TD, let me copy this TD, the first one. And after this TD, let's have a price of, let's put a $sign and write 43,000. So this is the price. Let's have another TD, and this is actually the market cap. So we're gonna just write something. Let's put a $sign, and let's say 820 and comma 000 comma 000 comma 000. That's it. And let me delete this space. Very good. Now we have a 20-hour change. So for this 20-hour change, all we need to do is to let's create a TD here. Let's copy this TD. Sorry, we don't have to create it. Let's copy this, and here let's give it a class of text green 400, and let's put plus 2.5%. But later we're gonna make it dynamic. So maybe our trend is negative and it should be red. So, but we're gonna handle it later. So now the UI of project is completed. So we have nothing more to do. What we need to do right now is to go and fetch the API and get 10 coins, and we're gonna do it dynamically. So let's go. All right, now before we go to fetch the API, let's create a snipper, a loader actually. So let me create a folder in src. Let's call it components. And inside components, I'm going to create a spinner.jsx. Now let's create the snippet using RAFCE. Erase this one, and let's erase inside the div. Well, the first div should have the class name of flex items center justify center, and let's create another div inside that. And this div should have the class name of W10 H10, the border 4, border indigo 500. Let's give it a border T transparent and a rounded full and animate spin. So this is our spinner. We're going to use it when we want to load the coins here later. So now we are ready to start creating our React app. All right, now we're going to get our API from this website, this cryptocurrency website, CoinGecko, or I don't know, CoinGecko. I'm not sure how it is pronounced. So the way that we actually are going to get this API is to copy this URL. I'm going to just put it in a new tab. And after HTTPS, all you have to do is to put the API dot CoinGecko or CoinGecko.com, and after a slash, you put another API in v3, coins, and markets. So if you just put this, you say missing parameter, this currency. Yeah, actually, because this needs a parameter of the cryptocurrency, as you can see. And what you have to do is to actually give the data of, for example, let's say that we want let VS currency, I already typed it, currency is equal to USDT, and this is the IDs, and here we have Bitcoin. So if you enter, you get all the data for the Bitcoin. So the current price, the market cap rank, and so on. So let's go back to our application. Now we need to bring 2 React hooks inside the project. So let's start with import use state and then use effect. So we're going to import use state and use effect from React. And let's import Axios. This is the package that we actually installed at the beginning of tutorial. This is actually the tool. We're going to use it to fetch our API. And let's import the spinner. The spinner that we created actually doesn't know it, so let's let it go. We're gonna do it manually. A spinner from components and spinner. That's it. Very good. Now let's go inside the app function and let's create our states. So first we need the state of coins and set coins. So this is our state variable and this is our state function. And then let's say use state, and we're going to actually put the default value, give the default value an empty array. So we're going to actually put all the coins inside this array. Now the next state should be loading, because we actually want at the first site that the page is loaded, we want this spinner to show up if the loading is true. But as soon as the API is fetched and the coins are actually displayed, we want this loading to be false. So set loading. By default, I'm going to set it to true. Very good. Now let's create our use effect hook here, use effect. And inside that, we're going to create a const fetch data. This is going to be in an async function, because you know that an async function is actually used when you want to use a await, and this is necessary to put the async here. So let's create a try catch block. So inside try, let's say const res is equal to await for Axios.get, and now inside that get, let's put our API. So we say HTTPS, and let's say API CoinGecko.com, and then API, and then v3 coins markets, and that's all. Now let's put a comma, and after that open and close curly braces again, and let's write params, and inside the params we're going to say vs currency, which is actually USD. Let's say the order, which is the market cap this, which means descending, and let's say per page, which is the number of coins we're going to get. Let's say 10 is enough, and the page should be 1, and spark line should be false. Now after that we say set coins, so we get actually this function, state function, and we say set coins. It should be res.data. Now to catch, we should write well, let's first console.error, because we want to display our error inside console. Let's say error fetching data, and let's then show the error. And finally, we want the loading, set loading to false. It means that when we actually, if we can load the coins successfully, we should set the loading false. The loading should stop. If we have an error, so the loading should stop because the process is done, and we display the error. So under this set loading, we should actually call the fetch data function. We need to call it, and here we put the array, and that's it. So you be careful. You must put this array here at the end of your use effect. Now we are, I think, pretty much done here. We have nothing more to do. Now all we have to do is to go to our table. All right, let me show you the table again. This is the table. Now all we have to do is to go to the table, and let's go for this T-body part. Now up above the T-body, so I think we need to first handle the loading before we go to the T-body. So let me go up here to this overflow x auto. Now up above that, you should write, if there's a loading, you should actually show this spinner. But if there is no loading, now I actually open another parenthesis, and let's close this div with the class of overflow x auto. Let's cut it, and let's put it inside this parenthesis. Now if I refresh, you can see that first there is a loading showing up, and as soon as the table is loaded, the spinner stops. Now if I actually make my let's go to inspect. If I actually make my network a little bit slower after each reload, the spinner first, perfect. Very good. So, all right, now our spinner works. Now we need to go for the T-body. So you should come down here, and up above this TR under T-body, let's say coins.map, and let's get each coin, and we're gonna identify the coins by their index. And let's say that, let's open these parentheses, and let's get the whole TR here. Let's cut it and put it right here. So now we can see that we have actually 10 coins, but the problem is that all of them are number 1, all of them has the same picture, same price, and all of them are Bitcoin, because we have here a we have here hard-coded data. So in order to make them dynamic, we need to change them. So let's start from this number. This number 1 should be actually, so first of all, let's get each TR here a key of coin.id. So they have actually a unique sign. And then this number 1 should be actually indexed, but it should be +1. Be careful now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you know that indexes start from 0. So if you don't use index +1, it starts from 0, and you don't want to do that. So let's say again index +1. Now we have 1 to 10. Excellent. Now for the image, let's erase this whole thing here, and let's say coin.image. So it's gonna actually get the images of each specific coin. And for the alt here, let's delete it, and let's say coin.name. So for the price, I think under image, let's create exactly in this TD under image, let's create a coin.name, and let's say, sorry, we should open and close curly braces, coin.name, and also let's say coin.symbol, and then to uppercase. So, and because now they are actually up above each other, now let's give this TD a flex items center and gap 2. Perfect. Now it's so much better. Okay, very good. Now for the price, let's erase this hard-coded price. Let's put the $sign. Let's say coin.current price, and then after that, let's say to local string method. To locale, it needs an E. So why we actually use to locale string? If you don't use this method, let me erase this. Imagine you don't actually use this method, so you don't have any commas, because we want to be actually the price formatted and to have these commas in between the numbers. So you need to actually use this to locale string. So you can see that these numbers, these prices are actually comma separated. Very good. Now let's go for the market cap. I'm going to erase this. Put the $sign, leave it. Let's say coin.market underline cap, again to locale string method. So now each coin has its own market cap. Now for the last one, we are going to actually use a dynamic class. So first, let me, inside this TD, let's say coin dot, well, let's say price change percentage 24H. So now we have actually some of them, they are negative, some of them are positive, but actually we want the negative ones to be red and the positive ones, everything above 0 should be green and everything under 0 should be red. So in order to handle that, let's erase this green color. You can actually cut this px4 and py2, erase these quotation marks, use curly braces instead, and actually you should put template literals. And inside the template literals, let's take back our px4 and py2. Now let's here put a $sign and curly braces again. So let's say if the coin dot price change percentage 24, if it is bigger than 0, if it is bigger than 0, so what should you do? You should actually give it a text, a class text green 400. Otherwise, you should give it a text red 400. So now you can see that the numbers that are negative means under 0, they have a red color, and the positive numbers above 0, they are actually green. So if you change it, you can see that the spinner starts turning, and as soon as the loading is finished, you have your table.